The Virginia peanut, truly the gourmet peanut, is valued for its size, texture, and most of all, its superb flavor. But the Virginia peanut is not a nut at all. Ask 10 people how the peanut grows and what a peanut really is, and you are likely to get 10 different answers. So first, what is a peanut, and how does it grow to become the world's most popular treat? It doesn't grow on trees like walnuts or pecans, and it is not the root of the plant. Rather, the Virginia peanut is a legume like peas and beans. Taxonomically classified as Arachis hypogea, it grows utilizing an extremely rare and mysterious means, in which the peanut is formed by injecting the plant's ovary into the ground from the pegs which grow downward into the soil from the flowers on the peanut plant, which develop into the delicious, nutritious, and highly sought-after Virginia peanut.
The peanut grows under the ground, and a lot of people think a peanut is like a potato, where the potato is part of the root, whereas the peanut's not like that. The peanut comes from the peanut on the peanut plant. The plant, of course, is above the ground. From the limbs of the plant comes a flower. From the flower comes a peg. The peg goes under the ground, and the peanut forms on the end of the peg. So the peanut does not form on that peg until it gets under the ground. So if you were to take a picture and look at it from a distance, all the peanuts are dangling from the plant, but they are all underground. So that's the way a peanut plant grows.
The peanut is grown in 11 southern states, ranging eastward from Virginia down to Florida and west to New Mexico. But it is here, in the light, sandy, loam, calcium-rich soil of southeastern Virginia, where the world's finest, crunchiest, and most flavorful peanut is grown.
Well, first of all, Virginia is the oldest state to grow peanuts. We first grew peanuts in 1842 commercially, so we are the oldest state to commercially have produced peanuts. But as far as this area is concerned, they just produce a very nice peanut. They always have. 8 or 9 counties in Virginia grow peanuts, and they're all in the southeastern corner of the state. All of them are contiguous to each other because that's where the sand is. And our climate is the best in the state too for peanuts, because we're the most northern state to grow peanuts. We have to be very careful in that in May we have to get them in the ground, but we have to wait until the ground warms up. So we're kind of locked a little bit on the front side, but we're particularly locked on the back side as we're in that shape this year. We have to get them out of the ground as best we can before it frosts. Or we've got to dodge frost in getting them out of the ground. So our growing season is much smaller than many of the other states, because we got to get them in the ground on time, we got to get them out of the ground on time. We are very much known for our ballpark peanuts, which are either you eat at the ball game or the big ones that are put in the cans, which we're so famous for with the many processors in our area. So anywhere I go and exhibit for peanuts, people want to know where they can buy Virginia peanuts.
Virginia is home to right around 175 peanut farmers. Combined, they have more than 18,000 acres and produce 67 million pounds of Virginia peanuts. This peanut crop now being harvested is typically planted in April through May. The planting process begins when soil temperatures reach between 65 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. The goal is to generate a high-quality seed to be replanted for next year's crop here in Virginia, or exported to other growers outside of the state. A portion of the best peanuts harvested are selected for commercial cooking and consumption. Virginia peanut farmers take their crop very seriously. It's not easy maintaining the legacy year after year as the world's finest. But the end product is well worth the effort. Quality control on the Made in Virginia peanut is never compromised.
All the peanuts we grow are grown for seed. We start out with foundation seed, which is part of the Virginia Crop Improvement Association. And each person that's in the seed business, they buy a number of pounds of foundation seed in each variety every year. And from foundation seed, you plant those, and what you get back from them are considered registered seed. They have to go through a field inspection process. They're inspected while they're growing to make sure there's not any mixed varieties or a lot of weeds and things in the field. And I get a certificate back saying each farmer whether the peanuts have passed or not. and I can't use them for certified seed if they fail. But all the farmers around here do a great job, and it's rare that you ever get one that would fail the field inspection report. Now, we don't use them all for seed. We screen off some of the larger peanuts for selling to people that cook peanuts, and we also cook and process peanuts ourselves.
The peanut seed kernels are planted 2 inches deep every 4 inches or so, in rows about 3 feet apart. Then, if conditions are right, staying warm and with enough water, nature runs its course. The seeds germinate and sprout within 2 weeks of planting. For the next 30 to 40 days, the peanut plant matures and will bloom. At that point, the nearly magical but certainly rare form of plant reproduction, geocarpy, occurs. The pod forms, and for the next 60 to 70 days, it develops into the peanut hulls and the sought-after kernels of the Virginia peanut. The total time from planting to harvesting is between 120 to 160 days, depending on the variety. The first step in getting the world's greatest peanut to market is digging. The peanuts are dug in multiple rows in each passing. The digging machine inverts the plants to remove soil and to expose the peanut to the sun for better drying in the field. Digging and drying, just like the growing process, is also dependent on time and conditions. The soil must not be too wet or too dry for digging, and the weather must stay dry for at least 2 days after the peanut plants have been dug and inverted before they are harvested. The initial field drying, the first in a 2-step drying process, must be completed before the farmer can begin to harvest the peanuts. Harvesting is done with a combine machine commonly called a peanut harvester. The peanut harvester separates the peanuts from the vines. The peanuts, still in their hulls, go into a large hopper on the top of the machine, while the vines are ejected out the back.
The vines that are left in the field from the combining process, the vines are kicked back out by the combine and they're left in the field. Either the farmer can leave them there to add nitrogen back to the soil because they're full of nitrogen, or they can bale them and use them for feed for livestock, which love them because it's full of protein. So peanuts do add back to the soil versus taken away.
Once the hopper is full, the peanuts are transferred to a drying trailer. The drying trailer has a perforated floor for circulation and will be connected to a force-dry air supply. The peanuts will continue to dry in the trailer until the moisture content is reduced to the required 10%. This usually occurs within 2 to 3 days and is essential so the peanuts can be stored without spoiling. Once dried, the peanuts are taken to the buying station, where they are sampled and graded by the Federal State Inspection Service.
When the peanuts come in, they have to come across these scales right here, and they're weighed in. We have peanut graders that are furnished by the Virginia State Inspection Service. We pay $7.95 a ton fee for having them graded. They're independent from us. We're not their boss. We furnish them a grading room and a bathroom and a peanut sampler, and they do the rest. And they are qualified people. They go through training in order to do this job, and they're very good. They're very good people.
Here, the peanuts are weighed and identified by variety and farm number. The peanuts are then taken to the sampling machine, which draws a random sample by vacuum from various locations within the load. This assures an accurate, fair sample is obtained. From this large sample, a 1,700 gram or 3-pound sample is obtained and run through a foreign material machine. This separates the peanuts from any foreign material and loose-shelled kernels. Some hand cleaning of this smaller sample may still be required. The clean peanuts are then weighed, and a 500 gram or 1.6 pound sample is obtained. The peanuts are then sorted by size, then loaded into the sheller, which removes the hulls from the kernel. Next, the kernels are sorted to identify the percentage of mature kernels, splits, and extra large kernels. Next, the moisture content is determined. The peanuts are now ready for the final sample. The total of these must weigh 500 grams, which must match the weight of the original sample.
And they determine the percentage of hulls, shells, the percentage of SMK, they call that sound mature kernels. And then they have something called other kernels, which are the little shriveled peanuts. And then they crack them open, shell them, crack them open, and they determine the percentage of splits and the damage and all of that. And all those factors are entered into a computer, and it's a price chart that they're paid by. And that all those factors determine the price that they will receive for the peanuts. Of course, that price is considered the loan rate, $359, I think, and 95 cents. But of course, they're not growing them for that amount. We usually contract for $535 or more. For some varieties, we pay more because they have to be irrigated.
Once graded, the peanuts are stored or taken to the shelling plant. The peanuts are loaded by conveyor into a peanut cleaning machine. Rocks, dirt, stems, sticks, and vines are removed. Next, the peanuts go to the sheller. Here, they are separated into 3 sizes and moved into one of 3 different shelling chambers where they are shelled. Sizing the peanuts for shelling minimizes splitting, thus keeping the world's greatest peanut kernels intact. Once shelled, the peanuts move to a vacuum separator, which removes any unshelled peanuts from the shelled ones. From here, they go to the picking room, where the electric eyes identify and remove undesirable peanuts. This is accomplished with a precise air blast, right down to the individual kernel from the lot. No detail is overlooked in the quality control of these high-demand, made-in-Virginia gourmet peanuts, as they are then inspected and hand-picked by a person to remove any further undesirable foreign material or inferior product. After hand-picking, the peanuts go into a sizer. The sizing machine is crucial as it determines which peanuts become the final product. Only the super extra large kernels become made-in-Virginia gourmet peanuts. From there, the peanuts that made the grade get cooked. The cooking process begins by first weighing the extra large peanut kernels, the keepers, into 12-pound batches. The peanuts are then soaked in nearly boiling water for 30 minutes. From there, the water is drained, and the peanuts are cooked in peanut oil at 325 degrees for 6 minutes. After cooking, they are poured onto flat metal trays, lined with several layers of absorbent paper towels. Salt is sprinkled on the peanuts. And they are then racked for cooling before being sent for packaging. Once cooled, the salted peanuts are loaded into the hopper for precise portioning in various sized packages and containers. The cans are filled and vacuum sealed. Then stamped with a best used by date. Next, the cans are labeled and packaged in cartons ready for shipment. Then finally, the made-in-Virginia peanuts, the pride of Virginia farmers, are sent to cold storage ready for distribution, sale, and consumption.
Well, we've always had the competition when it comes to the almonds and the pistachios and some of these higher dollar commodities or higher dollar nuts. But when it comes to peanuts, they're much more sustainable than some of these other nuts are. It takes a fraction of water to grow a peanut versus growing an almond or growing a pistachio. Peanuts grow under the ground. There are many people who think peanuts grow on trees just like almonds and pistachios, but they don't. They grow under the ground. So we've got a lot going for us in the sustainability area too, and I think that's going to benefit us in the future.
Virginia peanuts are valued by consumers the world over. In fact, the peanuts American baseball fans enjoy in the ballpark are the variety known as Virginia peanuts. Delicious and with a pleasing, crunchy texture, nothing beats the flavor of a true Virginia peanut. Although not the largest U.S. producer, the Virginia peanut farmers take great pride in knowing the peanuts they produce are the finest, most sought-after peanut in the world.
We ship all over the country and, all over the United States and abroad. Well, we consider the Virginia peanut as the best peanut you can get. We have the best climate for growing peanuts. Some areas they get too hot, and I think they have a flavor problem in some areas that have the extremely hot weather when they're digging and the peanuts on top of the ground and they go through extreme heat. I've heard people talk about the flavor issues in those areas, but we just think we have the largest peanut and the best peanut in the country.
There are 130 farms in Sussex County, Virginia, with an average size of 571 acres. 25% of the county's land is devoted to agricultural production. Principal crops are cotton, corn, flue-cured tobacco, small grains, soybeans, and of course, peanuts.
I'm very proud to be a processor. I've done this so long, I just feel like the farmers I deal with are part family. We try to do everything we can to help the farmer, and the farmer does everything they can do everything they can do to try to deliver a good product to me. So I try to work with them, especially this time of year when the weather is critical and you might be expecting a frost any day and you need to get the crop in, and we work weekends in order to get all this done, whatever it takes.
We need the consumer, for one, which we've got that, I feel like. You need the infrastructure, and I feel like we've got the infrastructure. And of course you need the farmers, and the farmers couldn't exist without the infrastructure. So I think we've got a group of farmers now in our state that are committed to growing peanuts, and they want to continue to grow peanuts. And once you have the farmers growing the peanuts, they need somewhere to deliver them to, such as this facility here and many others across the southeastern part of the state. So as long as we've got the infrastructure and the processors to process those peanuts, then peanuts should be around just as long as they have been around. Let's hope so. There's a lot of pride in that crop. The southeastern Virginia is known for peanuts. That's just the way it is. And these farmers want to carry on the tradition of those before them. Now, once again, I'll mention to you that we don't grow what we used to. The program changed, the federal price support program changed in 2002. And that's when we went from 75,000 acres down to about 20,000 acres. We were down to 12,000 in one of those years, but we've rebounded back to 20, and I think we'll stay around the 20,000 acres. But even those 20,000 acres, while that pales in comparison to the 700 and some thousand acres grown in Georgia, those 20,000 acres are very important to us, and those farmers who grow those 20,000 acres take just as much pride in those 20,000 as they did in the 75,000 acres. So it's carrying on the tradition and what people expect to come from the peanuts produced in our area.
Wakefield, Virginia has long been known as the peanut capital of the world. The area's average summer temperature is 78 degrees, with an annual rainfall of 44 inches. Perfect for peanuts. Incorporated in 1902, Wakefield boasts the renowned Virginia Diner with peanut pie and other home-cooked Southern delicacies. But the real draw here is, and always will be, the best peanuts in the world.
You got to remember, there's not a peanut farmer. There are farmers who grow peanuts, corn, cotton, soybeans, and wheat. So these are farmers that grow a number of crops and they rotate each year, and in some years in this field they'll have peanuts, but next year they're not going to have peanuts in that field. So we have farmers who grow a number of crops, among them being peanuts. Now, taken from the field, now you've got the processors that are involved and the shellers that are involved. In Suffolk, there used to be 7 or 8 shellers. There's one now, and that's Birdsong. They are a huge company, but still they're the only ones left in Suffolk. Then we get to the processors. So you've got Planters in Suffolk who's been here 100 years. You've got all of these processors that we're known for that put them in the cans. So when you add all of that together between the farmers, the equipment dealers and the fertilizer dealers and the processors, it's a good chunk of people that are involved in peanuts in this area.
It's very important. Very important. The farmers, they have several crops that they grow here, but peanuts are a good money crop. You know, they're making exceptional yields now. They, some of the new varieties we have, they're making 5,000 pounds to the acre and more. And years ago, say 10 or 15 years ago, 30 bags to the acre, 3,000 pounds to the acre was considered a good crop. So they need to make more though, because the prices aren't quite as good as they were when they had the support program, the government support program.
You know, like I said, southeastern Virginia since 1842 has been known for peanuts. So we've got the history behind us. There are processors, Planters for one, Birdsong for another, that have been here for over 100 years. The oldest Hubbard Peanut Company to put them in the cans has been here over 60 years. So it is, we've got the traditions behind us. The peanut sells itself because people ask for it because they know what to expect when they eat a Virginia peanut. So again, we try to make ourselves stand out a little bit, but we really don't need to because people already know.
Virginia farmers have been growing peanuts for nearly 200 years. Although not the largest peanut producer in the United States, the sandy soil and climate of southeastern Virginia produces a peanut of impeccable taste and texture. With over 24 varieties, the Virginia peanut has endured and distinguishes itself as the best in the world. The Virginia peanut, valued for its large size, beauty, and outstanding flavor, is also known as A. the Dude, B. the Ballpark peanut, C. the King's peanut, or D. the New World peanut. The answer when we return. Made in Virginia is brought to you by At Union Bank and Trust, we salute the dreamers, the thinkers, the doers, the believers, the builders, and the makers. Thanks to your vision, hard work, and innovation, you make Virginia shine. Union Bank and Trust, a partner of Virginia business and a proud supporter of Made in Virginia and Virginia Public Broadcasting.
This is the place we call home. This place right here. This is our place. This is the place we call home.
When you buy a home, you're not just investing in your future, you're giving your memories a place to call home. Old Dominion Realty, a proud supporter of Made in Virginia. T-Mike, honoring Virginia's manufacturing heritage and proudly supporting Made in Virginia. T-Mike, we drive industry. And a very special thanks to Made in Virginia supporters. The Woodrow Wilson Presidential Library and Museum in Stanton, Virginia, a truly unique Made in Virginia experience. The Greater Augusta Regional Chamber of Commerce, a partner for success. And the law offices of Allen and Carwile. So, what is the Virginia peanut also known as? The answer, B, the Ballpark peanut. And with over 70 million Major League Baseball tickets sold annually, The Virginia peanut is a home run. Next time on Made in Virginia, it's all about guitars and the people who make them. They're called luthiers, and they make the world's finest steel string flat-top guitars right here in Stanton, in the heart of Virginia's beautiful Shenandoah Valley, where deep musical roots and elegant craftsmanship come together. Don't miss this one next time on Made in Virginia. If you would like to learn more about today's episode or suggest a Virginia manufacturer for the program, you may visit us at madeinvirginia.tv and at wvpt.net.